When I arrived from Florida 4 years ago here at Highland High School and in our community, Mr. Hilborn assured me that we were going to have new schools and most especially a new high school. He said, when we get a new high school, you had better not do the same thing that we do now, or you won't be here, basically is what he said. So I heard him loud and clear because I have 3 small children and they're hungry. So I had never been to Highland before in my life. I grew up in Bel Air down on the river in eastern Ohio, and when you grow up there, you don't leave there a whole lot. And I had never been here. My wife was originally from Maumee, Ohio, and as our children got older, she said, I want to go back to Ohio where it's a good place for our kids to be. And I said, okay, and I kept saying okay because I really liked the sunshine and the warm weather. And eventually I broke down. I saw Highland looked like a nice place. I applied. I thought that that would keep her quiet and she wouldn't ask me anymore. Well, as it turned out, we came to a great place. And so I didn't want to mess that up. But I needed to learn about Highland and find out what was important to the community and what was going to help our students be most successful. So this whole process began with me meeting with my teachers, my students, local businesses and colleges, finding out what our students needed to do to be successful. And it was great dialogue because they got to talk about what our kids needed to do to be able to go to work, what our kids needed to do to be able to go to 2-year college, what our kids needed to be able to do to go to 4-year college. And they cited all the things that we do wrong in education from their perspective that keep our kids from being successful. And our teachers and students talked about the success of senior capstone projects and how much students can do when they have a self-directed project to complete, and their teachers are just stunned, and they say, I can't believe that kid just did that, and the things that are accomplished by our students. And you look at the young man who went through a science fair project, the work that he did just past week and the discoveries that they made. Students can do a lot more than we allow them to do. So the message we got was give students the opportunity to do a lot more than they sit and listen to us tell them how to do. So that's how we got the ball rolling. Once we got into this project, we were very fortunate to work with Wayne Boso and Bill Baker, who came and met with my teachers and my students, and they listened. And they listened to everything that we said. And none of us know about architecture and anything that we're going to do with a building. We just told them what we want to be able to do. So they took that information and they came back and said, here are some models that you can look at and play with. We were like little kids with little boxes. And they said, kind of arrange these the way you would like them and tell us what you would do with that area. We said, well, we like this, but we'd like to be able to do more with this area and that. They left again and came back. And they came back, and we had these boxes all set up just like this building is arranged. And they built this high school for us. So when our teachers go in here, they're just amazed that this is what we talked about. Some features that we explained to them was that we were going to break up into academies or teams. This here is our first floor, and we have our Arts and Creative Expression Academy in this corridor up here, and our Ag Environmental Science Academy down in this area here, this being the large ag area. What we wanted to be able to do is have multiple uses of the spaces. We knew that we couldn't have computers in every classroom and all of those things, but we wanted everyone to have access to those things at all times. So you will see that in the Academy or the Arts and Creative Expression Academy, and I'm sure there's a pointer on here, there it is, there's a computer classroom and computer labs, but also these areas here are extended learning areas, and I'm going to move on to those here, hopefully with this next slide. Okay, that's the second floor where it's our Business and Leadership Academy and our college prep. Our freshmen are all toward the center. Our freshman classrooms are all toward the center of the building so that they can stay together as a group as well, like they did at the middle school. The Academy of Creative Expression. Okay, these here are these are our art studio, regular classroom, and project lab. These are the doors that open there, and there those classroom walls come down, and this is our extended learning area. That can hold several students, but it also can allow students, just like with the other groups, allow students to be able to go out and work on their work, put it up on the television monitors. They can access every type of resource they would need electronically and work in their groups on the work and not so much listening. And teachers can still continue to be as a resource in the classroom. The other thing that someone had mentioned earlier about the teachers having a hard time letting go of their space. Oftentimes when you walk into a teacher's classroom, it is clearly designated that from here on is the teacher's zone. Don't enter there. You learn out here, don't come into my space. And that eats up a lot of the learning area. What we've done is created faculty areas. Our teachers each have an office. The teachers within each academy, all 4 of the core teachers will have in this office area, will have a desk with their computer, the phone that they can make parent contacts with, a meeting area. There's a little kitchen and a private bathroom for each of each extended learning area academy. Okay, so that is their space. So the classrooms, although they may be assigned to a classroom, that is not necessarily their home. That's why every classroom is so different within each academy, because depending upon the day, it could be used by any different teacher. The academies are set up so that they have a block of time. For instance, our freshman academy next year has 90 students in the regular ed classes. Those 90 students have an English, math, social studies, and science teacher who share those kids for 5 periods. During those 5 periods, they get those 4 credits, as well as they have study assist, lunch, and they have a class called Freshman Success, taught by those teachers and a resource teacher. But depending upon the day or the week, any teacher may need the computer lab. Any teacher may need the whole extended learning area opened up so that they can work on a project. So because teachers have a home, it's very important for teachers to have a home, and they made that clear to me and to our architects that we need a place to have our stuff. And so that's why they have those office spaces, so that they don't claim ownership of these classrooms. When the year starts, each teacher is assigned a classroom, and that's so students know where to go on the first day. Beyond that, our teachers are prepared to move and are excited to move to different areas so that they have different resources.
That before they even entered the building, they had already outgrown the building and started bringing portables in and things like that. This was another method that we used to say, we've got expandability. That you guys know in any high school that there are rooms that sit empty. You could walk the hallway and you'll see the rooms sitting empty. Well, because we're partnering with Marion Tech so much and taking so many college courses and having things like that, we started to get the idea that we could be more like a college where different kinds of professors use the same room at different times during the day. So it gave us an expandability that we hadn't thought about before.
This here is just a different setup of our ELA. The previous slide had shown it with the classrooms enclosed. This is, I'm envious of all those of you. I see kids working in their areas. All I see are guys spitting on the floor in our areas at this time. They love to spit on this. I'm glad they got it covered. This is our extended learning area, looking from one of the classrooms. This is just about a week and a half ago. This is an area that they've assured us will be done by June 3rd. I'm sure you're as confident about that as I am at this point. This is opened up. This would be a computer lab area over in here. There'll be access to computers, but that's not anyone's home. It's a lab space that can be enclosed so a teacher can go in there. But these areas here on the walls, students are going to be able there's going to be monitors where students can plug in and show their project work to their peers as they work on the project, or when opened up, they could show it to everyone. These areas will also be used for our ag business, our Ag Environmental Science Academy is very important to our community. As we mentioned, we are a rural community, and every one of our students is touched in some way by ag. And so we have a lot of events in the evening. As you can see how this can be opened up for even for presentations, and this here's the same area that we talked about. All these are pretty much the same in each area, but one of the features is that they have exterior access so that this academy can be shut down for the evening, but for their FFA meetings at night, they can come in, have their meeting in their area, and not disturb anything else in the building. That's another issue that we've had, scheduling. We have right now in our building, we have a cafeteria, and that's the only place where you can do anything. So it's very difficult to schedule. Now we can do 3, 4, 5 different things a night and really meet the needs of our community. Mr. Hilborn mentioned the community classroom. He actually mentioned Marion Technical College. That will be their classroom where they will do day and nighttime classes for our community as well as our students during the day or night. We are about 30 miles away from them, and they are our partner school. 35% roughly of our juniors and seniors are enrolled in college courses, most of which we do through adjunct professors who are our teachers, but some of it is PSEO. But this will provide an opportunity for them to teach other school children in our area as well as our community people. So this has access to the exterior, and it can be shut down from the rest of the school, and they will have that office as their own office. This was really done to entice them to come be more a part of our high school, and they want to do that. So that has worked out well for us.
I do want to thank Clyde-Green Springs again for bringing me a little bit of peace to talk about the small restrooms that we have. At the end of every wing, we have individual restrooms, and we've been worried about how to supervise those also. So I thank Clyde for saying, hey, all you have to do is scare the kids to death, let them know that the cameras are up there, and they're going to be watching their every move, and we'll be fine. But
here's a larger setup of the extended learning area. Another picture of the nearly completed extended learning area. This is again in our ag business area. That leads right out into the ag shop. Performing Arts or the Academy of Arts and Creative Expression is another area, very similar setup. But our students, as you can see here, we have two band and choir room. We have winger music rooms that are recording studios. The combination of my lack of technology and ability to do anything musically, I really don't know, but I'm told they're great. Let me go through this quickly. I apologize. This area here, as we mentioned, that we have to sometimes shut things down for testing. Our stage, we paid a little extra money with our local funds and made an extra large stage. This is an auditorium that we let students eat in during the day. But this door can be closed, and we can test 100 students, or pretty much an entire class when we have to do the large group testing that we do for ASVAB and PSAT for those sort of things, and not disrupt any other part of the school. And those students have a great learning environment, or a great testing environment that's very quiet and secluded. This here is what it looks like. We have 440 seats when it's the auditorium. When you walk into this building, this room, it does not look at all like a cafeteria. That is what it looks like. That's what it'll look like when it's completed, and it really does almost look like that already. But no one knows that it's a cafeteria. And we had said we do not want people to look like they're coming to an elementary play in the cafeteria. And again, and I know it sounds like a NASCAR victory circle to keep thanking the architects and them, but they have done a great job, and just they're listening and doing what we ask of them. That's the picture of the auditorium. There's our seats going in. That is our story, where we're at this point, and hopefully someday we can come back and show you what it looks like when it works, as many of you have shared with us. I'm very appreciative of the OSFC and Bill Baker, Dwayne Boso, and Michael Schuster Associates. Just the amount of listening and the amount of patience that they have for our work. They've done a great job.